Have you ever wondered why some people stay motivated while others burn out quickly or lose interest even when money is on the line? What actually drives us to keep going, push harder, and enjoy what we do? Welcome to this direct and straightforward audiobook summary of Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us by Daniel H. Pink. This summary is designed to fit the complete book into a bite-sized format under 15 minutes. I pulled the most important key takeaways from this book and have them here for you in one simple summary. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's not waste time and dive right in. And if you stay until the end, I'll share the 5 main takeaways from the book and how you can start using them today. Daniel Pink begins by explaining that for a long time, people believed motivation was all about rewards and punishments. Work hard, get paid. Slack off, get penalized. This is what he calls Motivation 1.0 and 2.0. Motivation 1.0 is our biological drive, the instinct to survive. Motivation 2.0 added external rewards and punishments to direct behavior in a structured society. It's the carrot and stick model used in schools, workplaces, and governments for decades. But today, we're living in a more complex world. We're not just turning screws on an assembly line. More people are solving problems, being creative, and working independently. Pink says that old-school reward systems are no longer effective for this kind of work. In fact, in many cases, they actually hurt performance. To make his point, Pink shares a study where participants were asked to solve a creative puzzle called the candle problem. One group was told they'd be paid for solving it, the other wasn't. Surprisingly, the paid group did worse. Why? Because the pressure to earn money narrowed their thinking. They stopped being curious and focused only on getting paid. This is one of the central ideas of the book. External rewards can crush creativity and narrow focus. When we focus solely on rewards, we lose sight of the joy and meaning behind the work itself. Pink introduces a new model of motivation, one that's built on 3 key elements: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy means having control over what you do, when you do it, and how you do it. Mastery is the drive to get better at something that matters. And purpose is the sense that you're working towards something bigger than yourself. These 3 elements form the foundation of what Pink calls Motivation 3.0. To help explain autonomy, Pink gives real-world examples of companies that give their employees freedom to explore. Google is one of the best-known examples. They famously allowed engineers to spend 20% of their time working on any project they chose. This led to the creation of Gmail and Google News. Atlassian, an Australian tech company, holds FedEx Days, where employees can work on any problem they want, as long as they deliver something the next day. These kinds of experiments show that giving people control over their work leads to better performance, more innovation, and higher satisfaction. The second element, mastery, is about progress. We're wired to enjoy getting better at things, especially when those things are meaningful to us. Pink says mastery is a mindset. It's not about being perfect. It's about putting in the work, failing sometimes, and growing. He points to the idea of flow, a state where we lose track of time because we're so engaged in what we're doing. Flow happens when the challenge matches our skill level. Not too easy, not too hard, just right. Pink also references Carol Dweck's work on the growth mindset, believing that abilities can be developed through effort and persistence. Mastery isn't a destination. It's a journey that brings long-term satisfaction. Purpose, the third element, is what ties everything together. We all want to feel like what we're doing matters, that it contributes to something larger. Pink says this sense of purpose is often more powerful than money. He gives examples of companies that emphasize purpose, like Tom's Shoes, which donates a pair of shoes for everyone sold, or the company Medtronic, where employees receive letters from patients whose lives were saved by their devices. These examples remind people of the deeper value of their work. People are often more loyal to brands and workplaces that make them feel like they're making a difference. Pink also shares how outdated motivation tactics are still used in schools and businesses today. He criticizes the carrot and stick approach, offering rewards for good behavior and punishments for bad. In education, this looks like teaching to the test instead of inspiring curiosity. In the workplace, it's micromanaging employees instead of trusting them to figure things out. Pink argues that if we want real engagement, we need to rethink these systems from the ground up. He explains that motivation based on autonomy, mastery, and purpose works better because it taps into our intrinsic desires. People are naturally curious. They like challenges. They enjoy creating things, but these instincts can be crushed by constant monitoring, forced routines, and overuse of incentives. Instead of telling people what to do, we should help them find meaning and give them the tools to succeed on their own terms. One of the more personal parts of the book is when Pink talks about parenting. He reflects on how the same motivation principles apply to kids. Instead of rewarding them with treats for getting good grades or punishing them for failing, we should encourage their natural love of learning. He suggests giving kids more freedom to explore topics that interest them and praising effort, not just results. This helps them develop resilience and confidence. It also builds a mindset that learning is valuable for its own sake, not just for external rewards. The book also touches on how management styles need to evolve. Pink says the best leaders today aren't controllers. They're facilitators. They ask, "How can I help you do your best work?" instead of, "Did you follow the rules?" He gives examples of companies with flat hierarchies and open communication. These environments allow people to speak up, take risks, and grow. They're not just about productivity. They're about people. Another theme is the mismatch between what science knows and what business does. Pink points out that decades of research support Motivation 3.0, but many organizations still use outdated methods. The reason, he says, is tradition. It's easier to rely on bonuses, targets, and fear of failure than to create a culture of trust, growth, and meaning. But the organizations that do make that shift often see better results and happier people. One of the most powerful metaphors in the book is that humans are not donkeys who need carrots to move. We're more like curious explorers. We're driven from within when given the chance. Pink says it's time to stop managing people like machines and start treating them like the complex, purpose-driven beings they are. He challenges leaders, teachers, and parents to redesign systems that bring out the best in people. Pink also discusses the concept of Type 1 and Type X behaviors. Type X people are driven by external rewards like money, status, or praise. Type Y people, on the other hand, are driven by internal motivation. They find satisfaction in the activity itself. The goal is to become more like Type 1. Pink believes Type Y behavior leads to better long-term performance, deeper satisfaction, and more meaningful success. He makes it clear that this shift can be learned. It's not about personality, it's about mindset. And with practice, anyone can make the shift from external motivation to intrinsic drive. Another powerful part of the book is Pink's breakdown of when extrinsic rewards do work and when they don't. For simple, repetitive tasks, rewards can be effective. But for work that requires problem-solving, creativity, or innovation, rewards can actually backfire. Pink says that for these types of tasks, autonomy, mastery, and purpose consistently outperform incentives. He also offers practical suggestions for applying these principles. For example, instead of traditional performance reviews, companies can hold development conversations focused on growth and goals. Instead of controlling schedules, managers can offer more flexible work hours. Teachers can give students choice in assignments or encourage passion projects. These small shifts can have a big impact on motivation and satisfaction. Now let's go through 5 of the most important takeaways from the book and how you can apply them in your life starting today. First, focus on building autonomy. Whether you're managing others or managing yourself, find ways to create choice. Allow room to explore, experiment, and personalize your work or learning. Second, pursue mastery. Pick something that matters to you and commit to improving. It doesn't have to be big. It could be learning an instrument, refining a skill at work, or becoming better at listening. The key is steady progress. Seek feedback, reflect, and stay patient. Mastery takes time. Third, reconnect with purpose. Ask yourself why you do what you do. What impact are you making? How does it help others? When you feel like your actions matter, motivation becomes much easier to maintain. Fourth, shift from rewards to meaning. Instead of chasing external rewards, find joy in the process. Notice what energizes you and gives you a sense of satisfaction. Focus on those things and build more of them into your daily life. Fifth, lead with trust. If you're in a leadership role, stop micromanaging. Start coaching. Support others by giving them the space to own their responsibilities and grow into their potential. Trust unlocks motivation. When people feel trusted, they rise to the occasion. To wrap this up, Drive is a book about what really moves us. It breaks down old myths about motivation and offers a new science-backed model that applies to every area of life. Whether you're a leader, a student, a parent, or just trying to do better, the message is clear. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose are the true keys to lasting motivation. If you've made it to the end of this audiobook summary, that tells me you're serious about growing and understanding what drives you. The full book is linked in the description if you want to listen to it in full. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more summaries like this. And if you listened all the way through, drop a comment that says, "Driven from within," so I know you were with me the whole time. I'll do my best to like and reply to every single one of your comments. Until next time.